Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll get started in about 1 minute. All right, all right, all right. It is 7 o'clock. It is Wednesday. It is a winning Wednesday. It is a wellness Wednesday. It is a wonderful Wednesday. And we are going to go ahead and get started with the hot topic for today. And the hot topic for today is this. Take a moment to read this quote, and I'll read it out loud to you for those of you that may be driving and tuning in. Teachers make a difference, and we would serve our students better by focusing on attracting and retaining the quality of teachers by raising teacher pay. And so that was Jeb Bush that made that comment or that quote. And you can already guess what we're going to be talking about today. The thing that is in the news: teacher salary raises and increases. If you are super excited about that, raise your hand, give me a heart, do something in the chat box. Let me know, like, ooh, 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 teacher salary raises. Ooh, ooh. All right. So let's thank you for the hearts and the comments in the chat box. I appreciate it. Let's sip a little tea here. And so let me be very clear. I have been watching all of the conversation happening with the topic of teacher salary raises. And I've been like, what y'all saying? And so what I noticed is that the comment, more money, more problems, had come up in quite a few posts that I've been reading, right? It's a little warm in here. My glass is already fogging up because this tea is so hot. Okay. People wanted to remind folks that y'all are getting all excited about these different schools. And I'm talking specifically about Georgia because that's where I reside. Y'all getting all excited about these teacher salary raises, but do you really want all of the things that come with the teacher salary raises when it comes about? Okay, so they are saying in the comment section, more money, more problems. Okay. And so I read a comment about one person said, okay, y'all so excited about these salary raises and y'all trying to make this mass exodus to Atlanta public schools because Atlanta public schools are the one that's leading the charge or leading the way. But do you really know what it takes to be an Atlanta public schools teacher? I'm gonna say yes because I was one. And let me tell you, the demands are high. The demands are high. So whereas you thinking you just going to get a check and collect the check, you better think twice because they have some very high demands on expectations. Another comment that I saw was from a teacher that is in the Clayton County school system. And I tell you, man, this tea is hot because my glasses are just fogging up over here. And she said, or they said, because it was an anonymous. No, it wasn't anonymous where I saw it. It was very much a Clayton County teacher who said, what about staying in your community? What happened to for us by us? Why would you jump ship from the community that you live in, that you pay your taxes in, that you support? Why jump ship just because somebody else is dangling a few extra dollars or carrots? Where is your loyalty? Where is your patriotism? Why won't you stay put in your community and make your community better? I was like, oh, this tea is getting real hot. And then I heard section, and I don't know if y'all know this, need to investigate this on your own. The fact that you or teachers are not getting paid to teach outside of their area of credential. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are a certified school counselor, but you also have been filling in as a PE teacher. And now everybody across the board is supposed to be getting a raise. And so you get a raise, or the raise is given for the PE teacher, but you don't get to get it because you are not a certified PE teacher. You're teaching outside of your credentials because you're certified as a school counselor. So I was like, wait a minute, does the people know this? Does the people know this? They need to know that if you, and again, you need to fact check, you need to do your own research and fact check, but it is not understanding that if you are teaching outside of your credentialed area, that you do not get the increase. And thank you so much for one of our viewers that's saying, make sure you read that fine print, because there is fine print that they don't want you to read. And I hope you are reading and researching and doing all the things before you decide to make that leap and make that jump, because it would be a very sad, sad day, a very sad year, in fact, to make this jump on promises that you don't read the fine print on. But let's talk a little bit about the highs. And now, yeah, shameless plug. And again, I'm gonna tell you, there's no shame in my game. Y'all we had a time on Saturday at Saturday school. Okay, we had a time was had, and if you missed, you can always go back and watch the replay. But I'm gonna just tell you right now, we talked so much about protocols and reflecting and celebrating and planning. I revealed the CPR strategy and framework when you hit milestones, and it was a time was had, and you missed it. But it's okay. There's grace. There's grace. There's grace. So go back and hit that replay and go get those nuggets. But one of the protocols that we talked about was the highs, the lows, and the uh-ohs, or the oh no's. And I told you all in that Saturday school session that this was something that has stuck with me for years. One of my good colleagues and friends shared this little framework with me, and I was like, sis, can I borrow that? And she said, absolutely, because that's what we do in the teaching profession. So anyway, let's talk really quickly about the highs, the lows, and the uh-ohs, or the oh no's, as it relates to these coveted teacher salary increases. Well, for one, we all know that the salary increase is a motivator. It is a morale booster, and it also fosters competitiveness. You have an opportunity to work for a district. And again, I will full disclaimer, I did work. I do not currently work for, but I did work for Atlanta Public Schools. And one of the things that drew me to APS was the fact that they got paid twice a month, because back in the day when I was started out in Atlanta, some counties were not paying twice a month. So they were getting paid twice a month, and they were on a higher echelon of the pay salary scale. But like I told y'all before, brace for impact, because to whom much is given, much is required. Okay, let's be very clear. And so, yes, there was this bragging rights to have being an employee of APS. Like, there's this kind of elitism, if you will. Staff are motivated and they feel, like they've arrived because they work at Atlanta Public Schools. And so by them blazing the path to start off the teacher salary scale, it's pretty, it shows, that they're still in the competitive market, and they are recruiting and bringing highly motivated staff members, experienced staff members. They're attracting, and they're also trying to retain their folks. And that is okay. But let's talk about the trade-offs, because this is the lows part of the conversation, because I don't know how many of us are really thinking about the trade-offs that happen when salary increases happen. Okay, so we're thinking what's great for our pockets, and I'm here for all of it. Trust me when I tell you, I'm always here to figure out who is paying the top dollar and how can I be a part of that. So there is no shame in that. But think about this. How exactly are we going to how do you call it? How do we compensate for these increased salaries, and what impact does it have on the classroom? How many of you have asked yourself that? And you could be honest, because I didn't. I didn't care. Again, we just gonna be honest, right? I was just thinking about my check at the end of the day and what that was going to look like. But have you thought about how, with the allocation of these higher salaries, how that impacts extracurricular programs, how it impacts facility upgrades? Some of these schools, again, the tea is so hot, y'all. Some of these schools have not seen facility upgrades in forever. Okay. What about our support staff? And what about our students that need additional resources and support? How are they going to be impacted with the increase in teacher salaries? Yeah, thank you, viewer. The trade-offs. I know we get so excited about seeing this increase in our check. And again, no shade. I am one of those people. But I honestly, until preparing for this, never even thought about that. And leaders, are you thinking about the trade-off? But that's none of my business. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. So we talked about the highs, we talked about the staff morale being boosted, we talked about the competitiveness, we talked about all of that, and we talked about the lows. The lows are the budgetary constraints and the trade-offs. But let's talk about the uh-ohs or the oh-nos. And those are things that we really, really, really didn't see coming out of left field. How many of y'all are taxpayers? I'm gonna raise my hand because I'm one. How many of us, and I'm gonna put me in the us category. How many of us have actually thought about the fact that the salary raises may require, more than likely, increases in our local taxes? Now, it's almost like you got to make a choice of if you want your money now or in a situation, right? So, again, I'm here for my check. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do it well, but I need to be compensated. And I don't know how many of you all that resonates with. Go ahead and drop me a heart or 100% or something in the chat box and say, I'm going to do what I got to do, but I need to make sure that I'm compensated for what I'm doing. But have you ever stopped to think about, thank you for the hearts, have you ever stopped to think about how this may impact your tax bill? I'm gonna be honest with you and say no. I didn't really think about that in its totality. Now you may be thinking that I don't like to associate the Debbie Downers and all that other stuff, but you may be thinking that I'm not for the salary increase. And that is absolutely 1000% incorrect. I am here for it, as I mentioned in the very beginning. But I just want you all to think about, yes, there is like almost like everybody's kind of watching to see what county is going to budge next and who's going to do this. And of course, there's already been like, this is not old news, not old news, but it's a little old, right? It's still developing. There are counties kind of like, okay, so APS is doing this, what y'all doing, right? But are we really thinking about the first, second, third level order consequences as a result of these raises. Do I think teachers deserve raises? Absolutely. But I also want us to keep at the forefront of our mind the raises equals what impact in the long run. Okay? So, yes, if you want to continue to talk about this now, to talk about that the Culture Academy can help you with, go ahead and hit that e-business QR code that takes you to our digital business card. And hot off the press, again, hot off the press, because some of y'all ain't show up to our Saturday school, but have no fear, we still got you. The Culture Academy LLC are running two packages. We have our most recent one that was introduced at Saturday School on Saturday called It's a Wrap. And that's where we take some time to toast to our triumphs. We reflect on our lessons learned, and we plan for our future. Okay, also known as a CPR framework. So if you are overwhelmed as a leader, brand new teacher, brand new all the things, and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're drowning and you need to be revived and resuscitated, the It's a Wrap package is for you. Let us perform CPR on you, okay, figuratively, all right, so we can get you back to a state where you are optimizing, living your life authentically you, and doing what you need to do to not just survive, but to also thrive. And we also, interview season is still here. It has not stopped yet. If you need some support with going over your resume, prepping for an interview, and planning for your next steps once you get the job and land the job, consider purchasing our Land the Job package. As always, we want to thank you so very much for participating in all of our events, our Wisdom Wednesdays, every Wednesday, and our Saturday schools that occur every first Saturday at 9:00 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, here is an opportunity for you to access our QR code for our digital business card. And also, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X. But like I always say, don't just be a spectator. Make sure you are a participator. And that means don't just join these pages, but go ahead and engage with us. Well, guys, we have come to our end of our first Wisdom Wednesday for the month of June. Thank you all so much for all of your engagement and participation. And we look forward to seeing you next time on next Wednesday's Wisdom Wednesday. Until next time, guys. Bye.